go live.
I mean, it's a lovely, clear picture, Russ.
The camera's lovely. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Right,
Hello.
remove myself. Hold on.
So, all right, Paul.
Not too bad, mate. You?
Yeah, all right. All good. All good. Yeah. Oh, I think that's just telling us we're live. If anybody out there can hear us, please let us know. Please let us know. I've got his old computer, so I'm going to get.
Oh, you're going to.
It's pretty good. No, it's all right. It's good. It's good. I don't mind it. It's better than what I had.
Well, it worked for him for long enough, didn't it?
It's pretty good. It's good enough for me. But I don't do techniques.
I must admit, your picture's a lot clearer and all.
Good. No, it's good. See me sideburns now. I can't tell if anybody's out there though. Anybody out there? Good week, mate.
Been a bit of a hectic one, to be fair. The wife's not too well. She's gone down with this bleeding illness everyone's got.
Oh God, yeah. It's been round its rife, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've been all right, to be fair. I keep getting nigglings, but nothing comes of it. And I think, oh, this is it. It's going to hit me. And then it don't. I don't feel too clever tonight, but
time of year though, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's the weather and all, man. It's like cold one minute, hot the next.
Yeah, really.
But that's the other thing. Where she's cold all the time with this illness, she's putting the heating on, and it's not cold.
No.
And I'm sweating out, and I think that don't help when you don't feel great.
Oh God, yeah, no, that doesn't help.
But it's a female thing. I think my girls are like it. They're always cold.
Yeah, I think it is. Put another blanket on this.
Yeah.
So, anybody out there? Are we live? Do we know?
We are live.
Let's have a look, see if there's anybody in the comments. No. Still can't see anybody in the comments.
Oh, well, maybe it's just us three.
Nobody's listening to us. Oh,
that's fine.
Is anybody listening to us? Just one person, please. Oh, it's all right. My mum will be on there in a minute. Yeah, no, it's been steady old week. It's going to be horrendous tomorrow. We're driving up to bloody Rutland, aren't we?
Yeah.
Meant to be awful, but hey, I'm sure we're coping.
It's raining all day, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of it apparently. A lot of it.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's absolutely teeming down out there.
But I did say it's going to.
It is absolutely falling out the sky as we speak. And it's going to go all the way through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently so, mate, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the weekend's like, but I know tomorrow's meant to be bad.
Well, they reckon it breaks around Sunday afternoon, don't they?
Oh,
that's when the it's supposed to be different. Right, hold on, guys and girls. We've got no introductions, so we just have to crack on with the show as it is tonight. It is all good evening, Jeff. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope you are all okay. Welcome to the EGH Paranormal Journey, whatever was it, Journey through the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. I will get it out. It's been a long time since I've said it. My glasses are steamed. I have literally walked through the door at 55. 7:55. I thought
you meant 55 years of age. Pretty well, mate.
No, well, it's been a manic day. You know when you forget about things. That's how it's worked today. I totally forgot about everything today, and then realised when I got to work, I got there sort of like an hour and a half early. So that didn't help, did it? Like I need to give more time. Do you know what I mean? I need to Plus, I've got a new computer set up. Simon's got a new computer set up, but Simon seems to have worked it better than me. I've got a new camera that follows me for everywhere I go. So every time I move my head, it decides to move. But then, as Simon pointed out, I walked around the corner and it followed me. So if I have to get up to the toilet midway through the show, it will follow me to that direction, and I don't know how to turn the thing off.
Or he does a sign up to us, Paul. We're going to see it.
Yeah, you know, didn't you?
I don't know how to turn everything in the background's the wrong way round. See it? I can't journey through the unexplained round the wrong way, isn't it?
No, it's around the right way for me.
It ain't for me.
It's right around. Yeah, it's good. It's doing
That's all right then. That's all right. I can take that because it ain't for me, but it is for everybody else.
I don't know why it's saying "sir" though on your screen down there instead of us.
It should say "sir."
No, not spelled like that. Double S-U-R.
It should. Evening, Jeff. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Hope no more pains and aches and everything like that. But yeah, all good. Hope you're feeling better. Natalie Hill. Can't wait to see you all on Saturday.
Oh,
so
brilliant. Yeah. Natalie, brilliant. Yes.
must be coming up to join us on Saturday. So brilliant. Look, this show was literally about an hour ago. This show wasn't coming live, but we are live. So welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm going to ask everyone like I do. Mr. Paranormal Paul, how are we doing?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Yeah, are we all good?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit of illness going through the house at the moment. The wife's not too clever. I was just saying to Simon, you know, when you keep getting nigglings, and you think, oh, this is it, I'm coming down with it. But it seems to go away, and then I get nigglings again, and then it goes away. So I'm hoping I'm going to avoid it. Touch wood.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, matey. Fingers crossed. Simon, you all okay?
Yeah, all good, and I've got no rents this week, so it's really good.
You got no what?
No rents to go on about. Nothing.
Oh, that's all right.
Nothing's
That's all
upset me for the last couple of weeks. It's cool.
I'll have to bring the anti ding bell then. So, if Kim's watching, I've fixed your bell, Kim. Everything's fixed. All right. So if Kim's watching, bell's fixed for Saturday for you. Right. I sort of look. A few weeks ago, we're going to crack on with some form of talk. How long it lasts for, I don't know. Where we're going to go, but I think this is where we need to start off with. Is Simon went to Rendlesham a few weeks back now, so we might as well touch base with you, sort of what you went on, what happened, things like that, and we'll just ask you questions as it went along.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. All good with us. All good. Well, we were staying in a place, I can't remember what it was called, but it was very near Rendlesham. It was probably 10-minute drive at most. So it was quite good. It was out in the sticks, and we got there, and the grounds were superb, absolutely superb. In fact, you probably didn't have to go to Rendlesham to watch the sky. You could have done it there because it was amazing. Very spiritual. I picked up straight away as I walked down the hill, but come back, sort of unpacked and got ready for Rendlesham, as you do. Went out for something to eat in Wickham Market, I believe. Yeah, it was Wickham Market. And took all our gear and arrived at gate 9, or arrived at car park 9. Pulled up, nobody else there, so quiet night. But funny enough, as you got out of the car, you could feel it. You know the feeling when you get out at Rendlesham? It's at you. And it was only me and Joe, so it was pretty much good. And the car started to misbehave, as very much yours did. So I got out of the car. It's locked itself, so I unlocked it. Went all round there. And I must admit, I didn't want to walk down.
You didn't? Or
no,
you did?
No. I was very, very apprehensive. Joe was super cool. Super cool. There was nothing bothering him. But I felt it as I got out of the car. But anyway, as you do, you've got to go on. Evening, Lee. So we started. No, that's right. I locked the car, and it unlocked again. So I locked the car again, and there was 2 lights in my car that I've never seen the like of. I've never seen it happen in my car before, and it slowly. There's only 2 lights showing, one on the dash and one on the radio, and it just slowly dimmed down and went. And I thought, crap, that ain't my car. So we started to walk down, and it probably. I wish Joe was on here because it probably took me an hour, if not more than an hour, to walk down there because every movement. I really didn't want to go, but I thought, no, I've got to press on because I didn't want to stop him. And we got to the gate, and it didn't feel any better. It really did not feel any better. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get out of this? So we stood there and heard a few noises, but you would, you're in the woods, so what do you expect? Looked at the fences, looked for people, but there was nothing there. And all of a sudden, you know, the airfield side is, so if you're looking up towards the car park where you've parked,
Yeah.
your left-hand side is where the fence is onto the airfield. The other side is all pure woodland. So we both saw, first of all, just a red light coming from across the airfield. And it was only 2 small red lights come across from the airfield. So we didn't really pay much attention to it. Then we saw a red light and honestly a great big bright light. So our first instinct was car, but there was no car. You could hear no car. So we sort of put that off for a little while. But you know, if you stand at that gate, you can see.
Just about the light.
Yeah.
Just so you was looking down towards. So you was.
I was looking up towards the car park.
Right. Okay. So there was a road up there in my head. Just that road is up.
There's a road up there. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So,
I just need to know like where I'm standing, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. So you're standing up there looking up towards the car park, and then you can see down to the other place where there's just woodland. There's another path that goes right down. So we've looked down the other way, and lo and behold, we see the same lights. Now, there's no road that way. There is no road that way.
No, towards the hangars, sort of up the pathway. Yeah.
If you're standing there, you're looking down the path towards the car park, and there's a path that goes down towards, I don't know where it goes, but yeah, into the woodlands.
Yes. Yeah.
So we see lights there. I thought, oh, that's really strange because there's no way now. I know there's no way it's a car. So we left it a bit, and I really, really didn't feel comfortable. And then it happens again. 2 little red lights, great big bright light. And by now, we'd worked out that we couldn't see the road, so it couldn't be a car. We'd worked out where these lights were in the forest. They weren't up that path. They'd gone into that road. So I thought, okay. And by this time, I'm wanting to get out. I didn't want to be there. I really, really did not want to be there. And I've got Joe wanting to investigate, and I did not want to be there. So I stayed, and I tried to communicate spiritually. That wasn't having it. There was nothing. So I tried again to say, right, if it's ET, can you show yourself? And the bloody thing did again. But this time, we both saw, I probably saw it more than Joe, but he actually saw the figure. The 2 red lights come across from the airfield. The bright light shone, and there was something laying on the floor. Laying, and I'm talking cryptoid or shuck monkey. If you look that up or find an image of that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that was looking there, and I just thought, it because he saw it as well. And that's the last we saw of it, but I had to walk past it to get out of there. Was pretty well. If I had black underpants, they were brown because I wanted out. I seriously wanted out. But we managed to walk.
Hold on, bear a minute. So I'm just going to hold on, bear with me.
I looked at Cryptoid first of all because that's what we thought it was.
How long was it there for, Si?
I'd say I saw it for about 10 seconds.
That's quite long.
Oh yeah. It did crack me up. To be honest, I wanted to walk back.
Mm.
I didn't. If I could have got away, yeah, that's the sort of thing. But I didn't. Well, unless the eyes were red, but it's sort of facing the other way. Yeah.
So something along them sort of lines.
Something along those lines, yeah, is what we saw.
Bloody hell.
And I'll tell you where it was. You know where you and Jay walked, and you saw the lights come in between you on that path.
Yeah.
Roughly about there.
I thought when we had the lights,
Yeah.
I think we were the other side of the road.
No, I think you were walking down. I think we
No.
were walking. I'm
No.
sure we were walking down towards that gate.
What?
Sure. I might be wrong. But
so the gate, if you were looking down towards the left, if I'm looking at the gate,
yeah,
the left would be the pathway where the light come or the shug monkey was there.
Yeah. Towards the car park. Yeah. Towards the car park. So the funny thing is, we got in the car. So that was that wasn't the end of it because we got in the car, and both my back windows were down by about this much on either side of the windows. So they'd obviously been rolled down. Now you could say somebody trying to break in, but there was nobody there, and we'd have heard. We'd have heard. So we got into the car. It started, and I thought, "Oh, you beauty, you beauty! Oh wow, yeah. Wow, there you go." Well, Kimmy wants to go to Rendlesham because I'm sure it's there. They say it's more to do with Cambridge, but it's known at Rendlesham as well. So, but anyway, so we've got in the car. We've driven back to the cottage, gone in, put our stuff in, and this was about 20 past, 11:30 by this time. So, making a cup of tea, and Joe said, "I'm going out for a fag." So I said, "Yeah, okay, mate, I'll come out with you." So we've walked out, and he's having his cigarette, and all of a sudden, we walked to the end of the cottage, and we heard, well, it's a growl that I've never heard the likes of. A growl, and I'm talking horrible noise, really horrible noise. And we both sort of stepped back. I had my torch, so I shone the torch into the hedges, and the thing bloody did it again. Right. So we started not going up to it, but walking backwards. We did it again. The thing growled again, and with that, so it wasn't because people would say, "Oh, your lights are on a timer or something," but all the complex lights went out. So there we are in black with this thing growling at us. So we both belted. We actually both belted back into the cottage. Yeah, so that was the story of night one.
Well,
Wow.
before you go on to night one, before you go on, I'm just going to read you, like, for the people at home, and
Go for it, mate.
A little breakdown of the weird Suffolk Rendlesham shug monkey. Okay, so just to give a bit of context to Simon's story and maybe what happens, I'm going to read you a snippet from Weird Suffolk. Okay, in the dark woods, there's a dark secret, a fantastical beast that's part giant dog, part muscular bear, part enormous ape, in Suffolk, home to the curious shug monkey. Better known in neighbouring Cambridgeshire, the shug monkey is a supernatural creature said to be frequent not only that county but also Rendlesham Forest, and magnet for unusual, a bet more famously, alien visitors. In the Sandling, something strange said stalk the forest floor. In 1956, Sam Holland was taking a bracing journey walk in the Suffolk countryside with his spaniel dog Harry when he spotted something unusual in the trees in about 40 foot in front of him. In the thickened trees was a beast that Holland had never seen before, a bizarre British Bigfoot, a vast creature walking on four muscular legs like a lion, curved in a thick black glossy fur, easily 10 foot in length. Holland struggled to the place where the beast could be. Panicking, his brain raced through these options, wondering whether he stumbled across an escapee from the zoo or a private estate, which its own Mandarin's culture turned towards his direction, stared at him directly. An icy cold terror crept over Holland. He was powerless, but stared back at the creature in Holland as it watched him, and his whimpering dog saw that he had dreadful frown and similar to a silverback gorilla. It possessed a thick neck, intelligent looking, piercing eyes, wide and flared nostrils, and terrifying jaw. Man and beast stared at each other, one in abject terror, and the other in what soon appeared to be utter nonchalance. After what seemed an eternity, the creature simply turned away and crept back into the dark forest. When pushed, Holland said the beast had looked like a combination of an ape, dog and bear, and a lion and a rhinoceros. He maintained his sighting had been genuine, but when questioned decades later, saying he believed the creature had been phenomenal rather than a natural wonder. 7 years ago, Holland sighting in a very similar stretch of the forest, a woman called Peggy Crushins saw an almost identical sounding beast and one fairly large difference. As it stared in the beast in a horror, it shimmered and it shifted in a shape to become a wigged gargoyle, taking flight into the darkness. This is weird, though. This is really weird. John Downes. No, John, director of the British-based Centre for Fortean Zoology, has his own story about a creepy Crimean from the 96. An ex-girlfriend of mine, an East Anglian paranormal researcher, was in possession of some videotape which showed a paw print of some huge-like animals, that of a cat or dog, but far bigger, and strange flattened finger rather than nails. She thought that the print was from an alien big cat of some description, but my immediate thought was from the semi-mystical shug monkey. When I later found that my friend and colleague John Scarf, who was brought up in the vicinity of the airbase, also knew about the so-called shug monkey and become more interested, and I have become collecting reports for years. The shug monkey, first mentioned in print by local writer broadcaster Wentworth Day in his 1944 book, Here Are the Ghosts and Witches. A local police constable, Taylor, who heard the story of the creature in his youth, described it to be Wentworth Days as a cross between a big round-coated and a monkey that shimmering eyes. Sometimes it would shuffle along on its hind legs, and other times it would whiz past you on all fours. The man also stated that after dark, local children were warned to avoid the shug monkey's favourite horse, close to dark forests. The word shug is believed to come from the Old English term Sakua, which means demon of centuries of local term. Shaki, which means hairy or shaggy, and is in East Anglin's famous black dog takes its name. Are the paired related? Is the shug monkey, as same as suggested, an actual werewolf, or is it one of Bigfoot's stranger uncles? Once again, Rendlesham Forest. The truth is out there.
Yeah, I agree. What I saw, I've never seen the likes of, and what I heard, I've never seen the likes of. And whether that thing followed us home, I can't say.
So what are you not saying? Because I don't know what the question I want to ask you at this. I want to ask you the question: what do you believe it was?
I think my own personal thoughts would be ET with the lights, some kind of ET.
So that goes along the cryptoid sort of.
Yeah,
side
and
of things.
that's I think because we went in and researched a bit, obviously, when we got back, and it came up cryptoid, but the cryptoids that I was looking at wasn't what I'd seen. When I saw the show, then it made more sense.
So what are you saying the lights are? What is that saying?
I think it's ET. That is ET.
So are you linking these together?
Yeah. Yes.
So the lights, the red lights, the bright light, what you saw are what you're saying could be potential craft.
Yeah. Yeah. There was no noise.
So if you look at the history of Bigfoot, cryptoid, things like that, that is very much coincides with a Bigfoot sighting. Okay, so watch Expedition Bigfoot. That will be what you see. The lights followed by red lights, followed by some form of hairy creature.
Yeah, yeah.
But the theory goes that it isn't actually craft that you are seeing.
Maybe not.
You are seeing some form of teleportation device.
Could be.
They move to when, say, Bigfoot, shug monkey, cryptoid. When they're seen and they're gone.
Yes, and that's very much what happened.
You never get a trace on it. You never get what you would call
and the speed at which it moved, it moved from one end of the forest to the other end of the forest. So too quickly. It was quick. It was too quick.
How far away from when you first saw him? Because you say the same noise come when you got back to where you were staying. How far away were they?
What, the noise? Sorry, the noises of the growling.
So when you went outside the cottage for a fag, and you heard the same growl,
probably no more than 30 foot.
No. But from when you first saw the cryptoid, how far away from where you saw it to where you were staying?
I didn't see it where we were staying. I heard it. I heard something where we were staying. I saw it at Rendlesham.
Yeah, but how far away were the two? How far away was Rendlesham from where you were staying?
4 to 6 miles, maybe 8 miles.
So then, like you say, if the lights are like teleportation, but my first,
I think we were followed, and I think they were in the car. I think whatever it was in the car was.
I thought it was more a sign of like manifestation, which I suppose you could kind of put in the same category. Yeah. But there's obviously got to be an energy there or something if it's coming out of wherever.
Yeah. Well, when we went the next day, we walked it in the daylight, and it took us from when we first saw the lights to when to when we saw the lights again, it must have taken us probably 50 minutes to an hour. So that's how. But this thing moved from one side to the other side of the forest in minutes. So it moved at a terrific speed, and that's.
Did you see it move?
No, you just saw it up the path towards where we were parked, and then you saw it right over the other side of the forest.
Okay, then let's throw another theory in there. Why are you saying one? Why?
Yeah,
No, it could be, but
if
I'm
you're
very much under the impression that when you go there, they read your mind. Okay, that's my theory, that they read your mind, that they know before you know that you're going there.
so
I think the question was, because we both went, that must be a car. When we first saw it, that was our first thing. Yeah, it's got to be a car. And then sat back for 10 seconds and thought, no noise, no car noise, nothing. Looked further in where you'd see it, nothing. So I think then it showed us again and again. So really, 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 well, I was scared. Yeah, I was scared.
So see, that leads me down sort of a little bit of an off scoot here. What you've just said there, you believe one of the things that forest can do. I won't use a terminology because that seems to be a different energy to what we've come across in the past. You know,
yes.
So you know, you said they can read your mind.
Yes.
Okay, so can they alter your mind?
They probably could, but then I've talked to two people's minds. Do you see what I mean?
But they could, if they can read your
They
mind.
could alter my mind, couldn't they? Because then, if I was there on my own, then that's entirely a different ballgame. But I was there with somebody who wasn't apprehensive, who wasn't at all scared until the final bit. I think that even probably got Joe in the end, because he saw it briefly. He didn't see it as long as I did, but he saw it, so he knew what I was talking about. And I think that, and then when we heard the growling, then yeah, we were both. And the funny thing was that the same thing that same night. We had one room with two like single beds in, and obviously it was pitch black. But round the window, right, there was a light kept coming. We both saw it, and he said, because he was laying there, and he said, "Can you see that light moving?" And I said, "I ain't even looking, mate." So I did, and then all of a sudden, it would light up. It would light up. So I said, "We'll have to check it out in the morning." So we went out in the morning, and there was nothing there that could have possibly lit our window up. So it was really. We're going back. We're definitely going back.
I would see. My brain goes to mind control. If they can read the mind, and there's they could plot your mind,
yes,
alter your mind. I think the human brain would be quite generic throughout every human. I don't quite see the DNA or the fundamentals changing too much between my brain, your brain, Paul's brain. What goes on in that brain, yes, but how it works fundamentally, I think they would all work the same. Yeah. Some scientists may tell me otherwise. I don't know. So if they are using like a mind control,
which I think
then I reckon then could be putting things in your mind to see.
Possibly. Yeah,
And
possibly.
not to say you haven't witnessed anything. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
Is what I'm saying is that shug monkey may have not been there, but in your mind's eye, in your eyes, if they can alter your brain, if that's what they can do, if they have this technology, can alter your brain, and if they don't want you in that forest, if they come across, if you're in an area that they don't want you to be in, well, what's the easiest way to make a human is to put fear in their brain to make them leave. Now,
But potentially, it could have not made us leave because
but they knew what
I
you were
didn't
there
wanna-
for. That's
I didn't want to walk back past it. But the only other way would have been about 5 miles round the other way.
yeah,
So,
Perhaps
That's-
that was the idea.
yeah. Perhaps that, or maybe it was different. Maybe it was trying to show you. Maybe it was, maybe there's something there that was pushing you to a different direction. We're talking about one potential energy here. What that being, you've been to that forest before. You've dealt with different energies within that forest
yes.
compared to what this energy is saying. Now, looking into the shug monkey briefly, just on that, it seems mythical. It seems to me non-ET. Not to say it isn't, because that's not what I'm saying. It seems we're going down this pathway of
Urban legend.
the Mothman.
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
And if we're, someone's already linked it to sort of demonology side of things, the demonology side
Could
of
be. Yeah, could be.
we know that you go back in history, Rendlesham is linked to strong witchcraft and
Yeah. it is.
and even stranger, and I know you haven't got on to night 2 yet, but when Simon got back, I'm obviously we spend most Saturdays together in the shop. Simon was sort of telling me what he had found out, and unknowing to me, he found out that Rendlesham Forest, or some areas of Rendlesham Forest, were used for mustard gas, wasn't it? Mustard gas.
Mustard gas was tested on that base. Probably the base wasn't there, but it was tested there in the early 1900s in the First World War, and that's why they planted the forest, apparently.
So, what effect does that have?
God, yeah.
We'll never find the information out because obviously, but what does that chemical? It's not mustard gas. It's just not mustard. It has something in there. What other chemical is?
It burns. It's horrible. It's
And-
horrible gas. It disfigures. Exactly, it disfigures. So
yeah. That's so. Is there something within Rendlesham Forest that actually holds? Not to say it does, but some answers, and it's a logical answer.
Do you think it's some kind of mutation then, like where you get things mutate, where like nuclear testing and things like that?
And one of Simon's things, and what you notice about is there's no wildlife at certain parts.
And
Now-
it happened again. Second
So-
day.
What happens within mustard gas over time? Does the wildlife dig? Does the wildlife, is it something that their noses are more sensitive than what the human nose is?
And
So
funny, the first night we went in there, all we could hear was owls, and that's a sign of that's all we could hear the first night. When we went back there on the Wednesday night, nothing. But we'll go on to that. Because we didn't really do a lot on Tuesday, but other than get over it and do a bit of researching, to be honest. But the car was still playing silly buggers because we went out and we were in a place called Church Road and we hadn't seen a church. So we found this little path and it said Church Lane. So we drove the car down there and it's a lovely church and it was open. So obviously I was carrying a lot of equipment in the car. So I made sure the car was locked, went in the church, did a little bit of mulling round, looked at, took some pictures, came out and the car was wide open. So something was still following us the second Tuesday, and I think we went back into the forest and we did the walk. Obviously, it's so much different in the daylight, and you're looking around. But that's not to say anything didn't happen, because we walked the path, and for some reason I wanted to walk down the path past where Grace was, or say for a better word, and then up to the other path going towards Bentwaters. So we started to walk, and we lost animal noise. Definitely did. And then got past it, and all the animals, all like the sparrows and all that, were back again. So I said, well, we found our bit, and we were looking at the time, so I said, let's walk back. So funny enough, as we started to walk back, we turned, and, well, all I can say is we saw somebody coming out of the forest, like I'd say a young lad. But he come out of nowhere. And there's no other paths. You're coming out of a forest. So there's no other paths in that forest. So out he walks, probably 100 yards in front of us. And all he kept doing was looking back at us, looking back at us, looking back at us, looking back at us. So,
Well, yeah, you probably look like a proper pair of
yeah.
weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could say that. But the thing was, neither of us can remember passing any of the areas we knew so well. The next thing we knew, we were back standing at the gate. So it was like a time lapse. Seriously, it was like a time lapse. So what should have taken us half an hour, I don't think it took us half an hour at all, because all of a sudden we were back at the gate. And I said, do you remember walking it? And he went, no, I don't. Neither of us remembered walking it. So it's really, that was even weird.
That's bizarre.
It's a very bizarre place, and not to say that you're ever gonna get any answers. It's far from that. I don't think we're ever going to get any answers that anybody ever wants to hear. Or
no, and I do still think there's nuclear weapons there, because I tried to get the Freedom of Information Act, because they said it's been what's the word, declassified. So if you in the 80s, but they don't share any papers with you. So to my mind, if it had been stopped there, I'd be able to get there. It was removed and went, that's how we removed it. No, you can't get that. And the stranger thing is still there. The new sign, aircraft viewing area. It's not used anymore. So what aircraft are you going to view?
yeah, but there has been. It got reopened, didn't it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's open now as a racing track, apparently. Because I'm trying to get on there. I'm going to say we're a film crew. We'd like to film it. I'd like to get on it just to go around it with a camera.
Is it Bentwaters? Is it Bent? It's not Bentwaters, is it?
No, it's Woodbridge.
Woodbridge. I'm sure that. Well, I know it sounds, but I say it's modern, but it isn't modern, is it, Russell? Because it was during COVID. I know during COVID they opened it back up again.
Might have done, yeah.
Because of something, but I know that there's been on some of the pages, the old Suffolk, when the when Ukraine went to war with Russia.
Yeah.
I know that they landed a couple of planes there at the time.
Oh, I dare say it still goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't be opening it up to the public to go and have a look at it, would you?
No, but when I walked around it months ago, well, I mean, I say months ago, probably over a year ago now, that there was in the hangars, there was something going on within the hangars. It felt there was a lot of cars. I don't know if they were filming something.
Probably.
When you was walking up the pathway, but you can walk pretty much right next to the fence.
Yeah.
Can't see the bunkers. You haven't even got to.
Did you say it was an American base?
It was an American base, but it went back to the MOD in 2000 and something.
Right.
So it was given over to the MOD. So they give it up. Bentwaters has a museum on it. I think that's still active. Bentwaters, some parts of it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Simon. I think you're right.
Yeah, so I think you can still go on Bentwaters, but I'd just like to go. You know, I'd like to go on Woodbridge just to walk it from the inside out. But I don't know if because you can still see the big blast wall. There's a great big blast wall there that obviously the planes used to blast against. But
It is an amazing place. It's an amazing place, and I say it seems to.
But Tuesday it was pretty uneventful actually. We walked around, did a bit of walking, and then we just went back and watched something about Rendlesham in the evening. So we didn't do much because we were going to go back there on the Wednesday. But Wednesday, I could have when we went back there was nothing. I could have stayed there all night. I could have pitched a tent there and stayed there. Didn't feel apprehensive.
Which is weird because after the first night's experience, you think you're going to be on edge regardless of what's going on.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. And it was peeing down with rain till about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then all of a sudden it just shifted. The sky absolutely beautiful. So you could see, it was quite a clear night. But yeah, and
What was it a clear night on the first night?
No, it wasn't. No, cloudy.
So does that see that makes
that's what I'm looking at now as well.
That makes my brain ticks there because obviously cloud cover would quite easily help the craft. I know people would say they've got cloaking technology and everything like that. 100% agree. 100% agree. But I also think with things that have gone over the last sort of 3 or 4 years with certain major events happening in this country and craft being seen within cloud cover, I think there has to be something to do with that. You've had cloud cover and quite heightened activity to going back there, lovely clear skies, and nothing.
No, honestly, there was nothing. I think we did see one light, but that could have been anything. That could have been a car because we didn't see anything else. But no, there was nothing. Wednesday, I could have put a tent up, stayed in the forest. Well, I wouldn't have done because it would have been comfortable, but it would have been bloody cold. But it's really, really weird, and all it does, I think, it takes you. You need to go back there, and I think you need to take like-minded people with you to go back there. And I think you get it because I've been that way before, and I've walked down that path with 6 to 8 people being uncomfortable. So I think it's different nights. I do. But I don't know what affects it.
I must admit, I would like to go.
I can't say I've ever felt majorly uncomfortable. The only time I felt really uncomfortable was when that light come towards me and Jay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I would feel. I haven't felt uncomfortable, but once that light, but that was on a live.
Apprehensive. Definitely apprehensive.
I'd love to know where that live is. But it was years ago, though, wasn't it?
It was years ago.
You know, that's the problem being is you would think that would it ever disappear off of a Facebook? Do you know what I mean? I don't. How far does Facebook go back? You know what I mean?
You're right, Mrs. A. We do need a team trip. It would be a good team trip as well. It would be.
I'd love to just know how far Facebook goes back. Is there a way you can search a page on Facebook? Anyone know? You know, it's,
You're asking me that question. No, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
But we did look at quite a lot of things in our time there. It was, it was too short. It was too short. And I'd like to have gone back until it clicked again. Because I think it would. I do definitely think it would.
As I say, it is an amazing place. The place has an amazing feel. Yeah, I just think it just holds what energy it holds. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but what energy it holds at different points. Because on Monday, I couldn't connect spiritually. On Wednesday, I was connected spiritually. It's the first time I've connected spiritually in that forest, apart from being down by that gate. So, I don't know. Or whether I'm raising my vibrations, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I would say there is something along them sort of lines in my eyes. I do think it is a not a vibration. It's that's what I'm saying. I think it's finding that happy medium. Finding that happy medium. And I don't know, there was the actual podcast, or if you go on Mixcloud, guys, and look back, I can't think what show it was, 84, 83 or 30 something.
38.
38
I
something.
don't know where that's come from.
I
don't know where that's come from.
I know Joe sent it to me. You can listen to it again, and we did a live recording. Oh yeah, so from February 25, low shows are only apparently automatic deleted now after 30 days.
Great.
That's pathetic, isn't it? What is Facebook like, eh? What is Facebook like? What a joke. Better not say too much because they'll end up
We'll be going down.
We love Facebook.
People go live now.
38. It is 38, Simon.
Bloody
38.
hell.
Okay. So go on Mixcloud, journey through the unexplained, and you're looking for the back. You're looking for that background. That's the background you're looking for, guys. If you look for that background, that's the logo. So go towards that and look for. Join us as we walk around Rendlesham Forest. Okay, show 38. It is well worth a listen. Now, I can't stand the sound of my own voice. I hate listening back to anything I've ever done. I've never do it. I just don't do it. But I have listened back to that show. And it is quite fascinating what actually goes on, because the more I listen to that show, and I forgot what went on that night deep down, the more that was an act of, I don't want to say, that was a threatening behavior. The more I listened to that show, that wasn't nice. What energy would come through that night and took Simon was not nice. I've got no heart, no worry, shame in saying it, worrying it, and I sort of forgot it. And I did forget a hell of a lot that went on that night from what went on. And the more I listened to it, and I would listen to that twice, that show, and it's a good 2.5 hours long. So, Paul, if you get it, stick it on at work, plug it in, and go.
Yeah, I've actually remembered to take my earphones into work, so I'll be able to listen to that. I'll do that tomorrow, actually.
It was a different energy.
Yeah.
To the Monday week, just experienced.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This one is bluntly being, not because it didn't really. It said it made you apprehensive and a little bit frightened, but this one was physically threatening, And the way that even Simon his wording was threatening behaviour. And everyone knows Simon is not a threatening person. Anyone who's come on our ghost hunts or anything like that, even when it comes to spiritual stuff, Simon is not threatening. But the way he was talking to us and the way they used him as obviously a voice.
Yeah.
It was threatening. Whatever was going on was threatening. That's all I will say about it, because I want people to listen to it. Show 38, Mixcloud. I'll try and link it on the pages on Facebook for people to try and have a listen again to, if I can, because it is a fascinating listen. And I make up your own minds. You know, Simon was in that situation, and even trying to get Simon back to the car was atrocious. And the more I look upon it, the more we went to Cannock Chase, trying to get Sandra back to the house.
Yeah,
It was atrocious. It's like they are using some form of energy that I don't know if they're depleting people's energy. I don't know if they are. Yeah, there was just something not right. And I'm quite glad that the energies that Simon picked up on at that time wasn't the same ones that were there that night, because I do think if there was two of them there, they would have been in more shit than they realized, because they were, whatever you call them, I don't think it was something like the Sumerians when it at the end you linked the
I can't
Sumerians
remember if it was Tall Greys or Nordics or whatever it was.
Nordics I think was the one.
I think that's what we linked it to, but I'm not sure. I don't know, but it definitely wasn't. They weren't present in that forest when I went back there this time. Well, that vibration wasn't there.
Yeah,
I'd walked right past it, and I would have known. I would have known where it would have started, but no. But this was entirely different. This was, I don't know.
So if this was my screen share, guys, of Nordics, they're obviously AI generated, we know that, but
yeah, that's potentially, yeah,
very clear cut.
Ears, yeah, look at the ears, yeah.
Got that one there, you know, very clear cut. The patterning on the face is quite different, but yeah, that's potentially what
I'd have willingly gone with them, I think, to be honest.
But that's what on that night that you was with us on that 38.
Yeah, on that 38.
100%.
38, I'd have gone. I'd gone.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. It was the more, honestly, I listened to it twice, and I can't, you know, and it was, I think we dodged a bloody big bullet. I generally do.
Yeah.
I generally do, because look, I do get that, and Joe picked up on a very good point. Not necessarily aggression, but I can be very point of fact, blunt, and I could come across as aggressive in a nature to an extraterrestrial being, which I don't mean to be. I generally don't mean to be. But I get it. I'm not here to argue that point. But the understanding was the thing I just couldn't get my head around on that outside broadcast was so-called extraterrestrial placed their children in our care. Long story short. And then I'm getting threatened by the extraterrestrial that if I hurt the children, I'm going to get hurt. Hold on a minute. I didn't ask for your children to start off with. And B, if you're that bloody cocksure of yourself, don't give me the children to look after. Not me personally, but Jay was. Don't threaten me if you're not. And we talk
And then
about.
they would with Jay, wouldn't they? Because Jay has got that nature that he'd take anything on.
Yes, but.
It's not being nasty, so.
But that's no different to you or Paul going to a stranger. Oh, yeah, look after my kid. And if you hurt them, I'm going to bloody kill you. What are you going on about? You know, I'd be saying, well, don't give me your bloody child. I don't want that sort of. It didn't make sense. It was almost like the more I was looking back and the more my brain was ticking in, listening to that podcast, listening to that interview, it's like we were getting set up because, you know, I think the only two that really were safe in that were Jaden and Maz, because they were looking at something else out the way. They were looking at literally what potentially could have been tall greys coming into the play. Now, they're not as, you know, we know that they come with their own agenda, okay? But these ones was dealing with what we are potentially calling Nordics. Not to say they are, because we generally don't know.
I can't say that.
We're just basing what Simon's description is. But these sort of match that description. I'm like, they're supposed to be clever. They can read minds. They can judge people by mind control. I get all that. But read our minds, and do you really think we're going to hurt your children? Are we the sort of people deep down that could hurt your children? You're associating us as humans. I get it. That could have shot down your craft at Rendlesham. They could have done you wrong at Rendlesham. But if you're that goddamn clever and you can read into our souls, which Joe comments on that, Joe literally comments on that in that interview, as they can do that. It's like, well, they're wrong then, aren't they? They are seriously wrong, because if it was the right way around, if I'm reading anybody in that group, and please don't take this the wrong way, there's one person, probably two people within that group I'm handing children to. That's A, Simon, and B, probably Maz. Okay, because Simon, you've only got to watch Simon work with Spirit Energy. Everyone knows Simon is that caring person, but Simon become aggressive, attack natured. It was straight off the bat. And when would Simon go bluntly, stop recording me, go away?
Yeah, it don't happen.
Doesn't happen. I get Simon needed a minute, and that's fine. But that wasn't the wording, give me a minute. It was, go, I don't want to be filmed, go away. It was blunt, straight off blunt. And I'm like, that's just not Simon. With that, you know, doesn't matter. Simon can give you attitude, but Simon is a blunt attitude. It's not get out of my face attitude. Oh, it's like, you know what? Do what you want. I don't care. It wouldn't matter if I was recording him or not. It would have just been, oh, if you want to fucking record me, record me. I don't want to be recorded, but record me if you want to do it. But this was, it was an act of an aggression of, go away, don't record me. It's just not Simon. And I missed that on the night. And listening back to that whole situation was like, wow, perhaps Simon's premonition, I know we've gone off of that, like, was perhaps the warning was where that was. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I just didn't like it. I did not genuinely like it when I listened back to it.
But I could have gone back there. I could have gone back there and spoken to them again. I wouldn't have had a problem with it, right? But whatever I saw on that Monday this time, you weren't going to get me anywhere near that.
Yeah, but then I think you have to take logic brain into. I do generally feel that there has to be a part of logic brain kicks in. Come off it. I think, and if you give 10 people, how many out of 10 people would say, "Oh yeah, I would stand there and watch the black monk, the werewolf coming towards me"? You know, we've all seen American Werewolf in London. We've all seen werewolf films getting ripped to shreds, bit at the neck and ripped apart. Logic brain would kick in when you're seeing a potential werewolf coming. Even Bigfoot, it's bigger than you. It's not normal. If you saw
Even a big cat.
yeah.
See, I could have taken it if you could take that in another way though, because those lights, it lit up, and then it showed us something. So it obviously wanted to show us something.
Yeah.
See,
That could have been like the old willow wisps leading you to where you.
Yeah. See, that's me other bit, but I don't think I'd have had the bottle to.
No, but you wouldn't. But you wouldn't, because look, right? Share screen, right? What are you doing? Go towards that, right? No, you're not. No one's going towards that. But if you had a choice of where you want to go to, and someone says, "Oh yeah, I tell you what, head towards that," where are you going?
Yeah.
Where are you going? You're going to the blonde-haired, blue-eyed person.
Yeah, but that's what you. That's what.
But that's exactly
not
what
far
I'm
away
saying.
from a human, is it?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is exactly my whole point of it, Simon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to sort. And I don't know how to stop the screens. That's my whole point of it. In that, if you're seeing the two different things in that forest, one of them you are going to poop your pants more than the other
I think
one.
there's more than two different things in that forest.
Exactly that. But
Really, I do think there is.
what is folklore there to do? Scare the bejesus out of you.
Yeah.
Do you know? It's no good. If you ever watched watch the film The Village. That's a great. That's a great way of keeping folklore to the absolute T. Okay, and you know, it even says it within the Shug Monkeys myths and legends. They've told children not to go near the forest at night. Now, that in itself could be a double-edged sword. Okay, it could be the locals of the area with children don't want their children to go in a forest at night. Get it?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But we also look at Rendlesham Forest as a place of heightened energy. Now, as Paul has come across, of abductions.
Yeah.
Now, what's to say that the forest isn't children, young, not. I don't know the if there's any, if there is absolutely any, what do you call it, records of people going missing in Rendlesham Forest. I generally don't know. It's something I've never looked at. But
I know there's covens and witchcraft, a lot of witchcraft. So what's that sort of dragged into there as well? But the thing was, why was the forest put there? So why? I'll go back to that question. All right, and yeah, I've got the bit where we got to the mustard gas, and that's why they put the pine trees on there and all that. But it was just used to be a lovely heathland with woods. So why would you change it? Do you know? This is where I can't get my head around it. I probably never will.
yeah, it's.
See, why would you? It used to be heathland. In fact, it used to be like where we were staying at the cottage. It was lovely, and there was like a river, and there was like forests, and that bit, and then heathland, and this bit, and that's what Rendlesham used to be like, with a few farm buildings in it. And then all of a sudden, they just built that bloody big forest in it. So it was built for a reason. It was built.
What's your take on it, Paul? You've been quiet.
Well, I didn't know that. The forest was built.
Yeah, 1900s, early 1900s. Yeah, it was all planted on heathland. There was some small farm buildings, woods,
Yeah, that's
normal
bizarre.
forest, and they ripped all that out and put pine trees in.
So I thought it dated back hundreds of years. The forest, you know.
No. That is the strangest thing of it.
Yeah, that is strange.
It has Anglo-Saxon settlements on it from the 5th to the 8th century. 5th to 8th century.
Yeah, but that would be on the heathland.
Is that rich, including significant Anglo-Saxon settlement from the 5th to the 8th century.
Yeah.
I'm only reading sort of pinpoints here, guys.
Well,
so,
I mean, there's plenty of history there, then, isn't there? But
There's history there, but why all of a sudden destroy perfectly good heathland and forests to build pine trees, to plant pine trees?
I don't get that, and I don't.
When the craft came down, it was a lot more sparse than it is now, or when the craft landed. So they weren't all fully grown at that stage. I bet they are now. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes a pine tree to grow, but
I mean, I still don't really know where my head goes with it all. I mean, like I say, I'd love to go there. I've never been there, but when I want to go there, I want to go there. I don't want to half-arse it and just cut it out. You've got to spend some hours there.
Yeah.
So going off of what people say, do you know what? I always thought it was an extraterrestrial hotspot, but after hearing that tonight, it doesn't sound ET to me.
No, I sort of have to sort of. I'm only going because what Simon was there. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know that part of it, but the car part of it, because exactly the same part happened to Russie. It's Russie's car.
Yeah, but then look at what happens in houses with hauntings.
True. Yeah.
Electrical equipment's one of the first things that gets played about with.
Yeah, they do say there's a lot of.
It's the energy, I don't know.
Yes, Sandra, you're probably right, and I don't know if it was to hide the mustard gas. I don't quite know, and I don't think I'll ever get the bottom of what it was there. But yeah.
See that's the whole chemical testing thing, or has that's now two potential incidences of chemical testing. Okay, so we go to the mustard gas testing, okay, way back in time. And obviously the Rendlesham incident itself, there is a theory that they were chemical testing at the night of the actual incident. They wanted to see how the soldiers would react in an alien type invasion under the new chemical warfare. I'm assuming
psychedelics, wasn't it, and that sort of thing.
Well, the only evidence that you can place to it, okay, is that there was a children's home and a hospital on the night of the Rendlesham incident was evacuated. Why did you evacuate a hospital and a child's home? The theory goes is they dropped the chemical into the air, and when they didn't take into the fact of the wind direction, and the wind direction was carrying the chemical towards the hospital and the children's home. That was the only reason they evacuated the hospital. And
see, they've been experimenting with that kind of thing for a long, long time.
But that's why I said when Simon told me about the mustard gas side of things, it's like, well, now we've got two incidences potentially of chemical testing within that forest. Now, over time, if they do it often, or we don't know how long them chemicals stay in them trees,
we don't.
drowned, as Sandra said, they could, but where's the canisters? Where's the,
Yeah.
Where's everything that they used? Is it is it a trunking within the ground? Is there pipes going under the ground that releases a gas up, go many mile around?
There's a very strange building in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a building on the other side that you wouldn't know was there unless you come across it.
But see that if that does come up every now and then, or the trees do hold it, it only takes a certain wind direction or something like that. But that could have hallucinogenic effects.
Yeah.
Rain.
So like you say, we're putting it all down to either ET, paranormal, urban legends, but we could just be
hallucinating. Yeah, it could be.
But
and it's got that kind of psychedelic feel to it.
Do you think you hallucinate about the same thing?
Yes, I'll just come into that because do you remember when we were saying back in my sort of earlier days, we used to sort of dabble in psychedelics, and you was telepathic, mate.
Yeah.
You knew what you was doing without even talking to the people you were doing it with.
But then is that what I'm what you've just said there? I think goes along that sort of what we're told, what we use 10 to 15% of the brain. Now that you're having a psychedelic effect that is obviously opening up different parts of that brain capacity, and all of a sudden you're becoming telepathic. Now that can't be coincidence in my eyes. That generally cannot be coincidence in my eyes. But the psychedelic side of things, but we're talking not as high level.
You'll have to come with us.
Oh, I 100% plan to, mate. That's one place I really want to go.
It's weird. Even during the day, you do get a sense you're being watched. That's a feeling. That's a feeling. You get that feeling no matter when you go there, that something is watching you. The minute you park in that car park, something's on you.
It's an interesting place. It is an interesting place. But what is watching you? What is watching you? That is that is a thing. But
if I can get us on the airbase, which I'm really.
Is that no, I'm trying not to look. I'm not poo-pooing anything. Please don't think of that. But is that not unnatural to any forest that we go to? You walk around Caches, you feel like you're being watched. You walk around Hockley, you feel like you're being watched.
Yeah, but this is a little bit. I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I
get what you're saying that when you go around Caches and when we go around Hockley, but it's more intense. And Rendlesham is so much more intense.
Yeah, but is that because of? Look, I'm only playing devil's advocate here and giving us something to talk about.
Yeah.
But could that be along the lines of that there's something in the air that the brain is not compensating?
Yeah.
We talk about cannabis effect here. We get what's the word when you get paranoid? Once again, paranoia. As you say, it's a different type of.
Yeah, but do you not think that would be the same each day? So Monday was different to Wednesday.
Yeah, but then
it depends on the release of what's in the air.
Wind direction. It could. I say there could be loads of things. You think clouds hold in, open air, lets it escape.
Yeah.
When you think like at night time, if it's a clear night, we're cold. But if it's like tonight, where it's overcast, rain, it'd be mild.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, that Russ, because you said the first night was cloud cover.
Yeah, it was. Second,
we had all the activity, and the second time the rain all cleared up. It was a beautiful, clear night.
I wonder if there is any form of equipment. Obviously, I don't necessarily think mustard gas would come under a Geiger count or radiation. But
yeah,
I wonder if there'd be anything that you could air test or
they do say you get a lot of VMF readings around there. Again, in certain parts, but then that's not going to be mustard gas. That's going to be
no. But I would expect that. In my head, I would expect high EMF reading around a military base because of the
yeah.
the communication. And I know it's dead in the water, like dead in the water, boom, boom. I know it's a disused, but we're talking about Brentwaters across the road that potentially may be active, may not be active. I'm still pretty sure that in case, illegally that, we know the state of that airfield, it's pristine.
Yeah.
Like that airfield is pristine. And I know that people talk about what sort of tarmac they put on it and things like that, but still, it's pristine. So there is obviously some activity that come in and out of that. As like Simon said, they've put up signs, watch the airplanes now. So it's obviously being used in some capacity. What capacity?
It actually doesn't make sense because 1 minute they're saying that, the next minute they're saying a track day, but then you'd hear them. I really strange and strange.
It just feels like there's more things going on there now, but I'd like to have a look into some piece of equipment, or at least if we can get some air testing.
Yeah, I mean,
air test kit or
I think you can do it, can't you? But I think it's quite an expensive bit of kit. It'll tell you what gases are in the air, what this and that. It's the kind of thing they use at Launders Lane. Finding out what's coming out of the ground there. It will tell you what's in the ground.
Chuck Norris, remember him, the health and safety bloke, mate?
Yeah, Chuck Norris. Yeah, you could take, like carbon monoxide testers. I don't know if mustard gas would give off some sort of carbon emissions, but I really would be interested to sort of. It would be a great piece of evidence, and yes, it may be not the evidence that we're looking for. It may shut a lot of things down of what goes on, but if you get something back to say there is some form of hallucinogenic within that air, that would pave way for 75% of the activity that goes on in what we've witnessed could be down to our own hallucinogenic brain. Sadly, but it still would be something that I would really be interested to look into. And, I don't know who I know people obviously watch this show back. So if you do know anybody who can do air testing and would happily come out and join us on a night out just to try to prove some point, because it would make an absolute fantastic, TV show, because we are going against everything that these, we got the Capel Green movie coming out or whatever's going on there, and we've got all these Rendlesham things that are, look, it's UFO, it's UFO, it's UFO, it's UFO all the time, and then all of a sudden, well, hang on a minute, there's a lot of hallucinogenics in this air. I know that it's a poo-pooing scenario, and I don't want that to happen in my brain, but as a paranormal investigator,
it explains a lot.
It would explain a hell of a lot there, a hell of a lot. And I think that would then go in my brain as I know what's going on there now, and that would then, but then I would probably go deeper.
Kill a dream.
No, it wouldn't kill a dream. It wouldn't kill a dream, because I think I would be going along the lines of as Paul said, he knew he was telepathic. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ball game. The lights, the shug monkey, they could be hallucinogenic, because that's what you see in films. That's what you hear people saying. You see things. But the seeing of other things, the communication between you and extraterrestrial, you may just have got a bigger dose of the sniffing in of the air to allow you to telepathically communicate with that extraterrestrial. It's not
Yeah.
shutting down the dream, it's how we then broaden that horizon to what
Okay.
is that hallucinogenic actually doing to that person at that time. Is it corrupting their brain, or is it helping them connect to the energy that is there? That's how my
Well,
work.
I think that's pretty smart way of looking at it, Russ. Because you've only got to look like native Indians when they do their it's their communication to spirit.
Mm.
It opens up pathways to have clear communication, and that's never thought of it like that. To be fair,
It wouldn't.
I think we're getting somewhere here.
It wouldn't kill my dream. It definitely wouldn't kill my dream because I think,
like you say, it's not to say that they're not there.
no,
It's just opened up that way of communicating.
And that I know that's look, of what goes on and how this show goes out and people listen to it, but then that would then push me to a line of using a controlled substance in a controlled environment.
I'm with you. Let's do some mushrooms and go Rendlesham.
No, but that's what I would say. If we got back, someone did an air controlled unit, it come back as high as in a hallucinogenic, then I think we would have quite the right to bring the authorities on board and say, look, this is what we want to control. Don't shoot us down. But
we might well be shut up then, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If we get shut up at that point, then we know that is something is going on in Rendlesham Forest, and that is the way that these potential bigwigs are communicating.
Yeah.
It may take, the ancient Indians, they may be onto something that we are overlooking. And I'm not saying that is, but
could be.
I just think that you finding that little bit of key evidence of the mustard gas and the covering up of it.
Yeah, but listen, if they're experimenting with mustard gas, do you honestly think they're just going to use one substance and leave it there?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Exactly. You don't know what the hell's being used there.
And if you take that back to when they were using it back in 1905, 1906, 1907, 1908 for the First World War, they wouldn't have any stringent tests, would they? It would just be, right, let's try that.
Yeah.
They said that they walk people in there without masks.
But that would be testing, though, wouldn't it?
Their skin burnt and flesh dropped off.
But that's just the one incident that you have found of what's there. Where these canisters back in them days, as you said, Simon, there's going to be no stringent laws of what happens to these canisters. So there's a good point. There's a good chance that someone's dug a big hole in Rendlesham Forest and covered them up
with pine trees.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think does need to be looked at. I think there is a very much a case here of a different way of looking at Rendlesham. Different way looking at Rendlesham. If we can get some firm evidence that there is something in the air in that area.
Yeah, and it's not going to be all around that forest either. It's going to be in a certain part of that forest.
Yeah. What's this,
depending on the way the wind blows.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting if you start getting sightings, if you break out the tester, right, something's happening here.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic. It would be an absolute fantastic.
Oh, look into this.
And that is.
How do we get a tester then?
I should look into that.
Yeah. I say, I don't, we obviously know radiation's a Geiger counter. So I'm pretty sure that we could get a Geiger counter. Where you get a Geiger counter for, how you get a Geiger counter, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Geiger counter. I don't know.
You know,
Geiger.
we are literally going to be going into a forest like
Actual
Ghostbusters,
Geiger.
aren't we?
Anyone ever know?
Geiger counter. Gee, you've got me out in there.
A Geiger counter radiation detector we can get off of Amazon for 14 quid.
There you go.
All right. If we want to go to a nuclear radiation one, we can get one for $9. This is a US national one, which would be 100 quid. All right. So
Just start off with a 14 quid one.
Or we just take a canary with us.
yeah, a canary with us. But yeah, air testing kit.
Yeah.
Kit. I know we would. Air testing kit. What are you testing for, though?
Air quality.
Air testing kit for Mahidolide. What would we need that for? Smart testing for CO2, for mold, air testing. Yeah, I'd look. We'd have to have a proper look into it for chemicals. Well, there is one. There is, for example, there seems to be one here that is called a hydro system. Okay, hygiene subsystem. System consists of air testing for different sorts of chemicals. That comes in at 1,400 quid. Not to say I'd go out and buy that. That's not what I'm saying. But that,
can we borrow one?
Yeah, but there has to be something. There has to be something out there that we can look into to make. It's a part.
We have the suits like the Ghostbusters when we go out, like
nuclear.
Oh, you're going to test this, mate? Okay.
The only time we would get into one of them suits if the Geiger counter started to go click, click, click.
Yeah,
and then that's when it would start to run. Okay, because if it starts going, that's when it's.
Surprised me if it did, though.
No, it wouldn't. I know that you can say it goes off when they walk around Chernobyl now, doesn't it? So low radiation is fine. But then does low radiation cause hallucinogenic effect? It must do, mustn't it?
Well, you've always got the slightest bit of radiation around you anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah, these.
Yeah, well, that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is food for thought. And by garden slugs detect mustard gas.
Ah.
How do you know? What do they do to let you know that
we need to find out? Because we can collect slugs in our back garden and take them down there. And
I mean, I know they don't like sit and watch them die.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know. They might like mustard gas and head towards it. But could you imagine pouring loads of slugs out on the floor and they all go to one area? That would.
It will take a while to follow them, though, won't it?
Well, I don't know. They might be like crap.
Still there.
Yeah. As a result, the US Army in June 1980. Well, that's weird. That date is very key, because that's the date that Rendlesham planted the trees a year later. As a result, the US Army in June 1918 enlisted ordinary garden slugs to fight in the trenches. They were carried in by troops during their 5-month tour of duty. These gas-detecting heroes saved thousands of lives by alerting soldiers to the presence of mustard gas.
How?
Yeah, but how? That is the key. How? Well, it must be quite quick.
Mustard gas.
It must be quite quick, though, mustn't it? If you're in a trench, I suppose you'd be days, but
it's got to be quick. Because what he did to people was awful.
But they do still keep them in. Don't mustard gas still go in? Like police officers? Don't police officers use mustard gas or
no? That's
spray.
No, it's no. I don't think it's.
I don't think it's quite mustard gas.
But... No, I don't think it's mustard gas. Mustard gas. The skin.
I have just been sent. Jane has sent me the link. So
Bit of bedtime reading over the weekend then.
As a result of the US Army, by observing the slugs' compressed bodies, soldiers could put on gas masks before they had any hints of these dangerous chemical weapons. For further information, check out the following. I'll send this to you on to guys, and maybe in a couple of weeks' time we will touch back on it, because obviously we're sort of coming towards the end of the show. So I've forwarded that both onto you guys, all right? And
Cheers, mate.
have a look at more.
Cheers, John.
Yes, thank you, Jane.
Yeah, cheers, Jane, for that, because that will be a bit of interesting reading for everybody. Because something simple, if it just means taking a couple of slugs along with us, and I know it sounds silly, but there might be a time where, you know, you just, I don't know, put them on the ground, I don't know, and it start to react. Who knows? You know, they might be more hyper
Worst
excessive.
case scenario, mate. We'll feed it to the shag monkey as he's trying to eat us.
Oh yes, the dinner. Leave us alone. Have some slugs. I don't want slug. I want your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you following along. Hope you've. It's been a really interesting show, because it actually gives some form of purpose to, you know, a different side of things, which I think is really unheard of within the paranormal field sometimes, that three blokes who generally believe that the UFO
We're trying to find the other.
you know,
Yeah.
can actually sit there and actually say, well, look, we're open to do tests, to run experiments, to not poo-poo it, but that's not what we're trying to do. But
Trying to
Yeah.
solve it.
yeah, it'll
If
give
something
more-
making me hallucinate out there, yeah, I do want to know.
exactly that. If you can rule it off the table, then we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Ruling it off the table, and I know it may take a couple of visits, or it may take a long time to sort of get that sort of in place. But if we can make something work, and there may be some people out there that would be interested in helping us. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It really might,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
may give a different scope to that. You know, they're willing to test all the waterways around here, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, so, but no, thank you ever so much, guys. Thank you for watching. We are not back next week because we have got Christmas fair next week, haven't we?
We have. Yeah, we have.
So me and Simon are at the shop next week, but the week after we are back after that. So we will see you in a couple of weeks' time, guys. Take care, stay safe. Thank you, Mr. Paranormal Paul, and thank you, Mr. Psychic Si. And I will see you all in a few weeks' time.
See you all.
Nada.
All right.
I can't ever end it, so I'll just have to